Two bros chilling in the hot tub.
You the twos and we the ones? Well, you are the biggest two of them all, my dog. That's what you are. You are a giant number two.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Two Bros Podcast. As always, I am Bryce, and I am joined by...
I'm Matt. I am the brother who's awful at picking all games for some reason.
Oh, well, it was a rough week for both of us. It wasn't the greatest week for either one of us. But since the baseball playoffs started, we're going to hop right on in
Well,
to
actually,
the...
before we do that, I want to say one quick thing. This week we heard some pretty rough news about Kyron Lacey, about how he was
Yeah,
exonerated on all charges. And I think that something really major needs to be said. The court of public opinion is fully, and I do mean fully, responsible for his death. This is a man who did nothing wrong. He was over 70 yards behind the actual accident, and people like Jack Mack and Barstool jumped on him, pretending
Yep.
he was a villain. And we saw it happen again with the Mark Sanchez case. Everyone said, "Oh, prayers up for Mark Sanchez, prayers up for Mark Sanchez."
Yep.
And Mark Sanchez was the aggressor. Sorry, my clock fell. And I am sick and tired of us reacting to things before we know the full case. Matt Araiza, his whole life would have been over if we listened to this lady.
Yeah.
We need to be checked because a young man took his life because of the pressure, everything that was stolen from him. And it is just despicable for someone to sit there and act like they did nothing wrong and donate a few $1,000s and think that's okay.
Yeah.
That is my tangent on that, but I thought it was despicable. And my prayers are going out to Kyron Lacey's family because that is so sad to know what happened to him.
Yeah, that was terrible. I saw that, and that's the first thought I had. It was like, so he died because everybody was started to criticize him for something he didn't even do. So, but then
But
the Mark Sanchez thing was just wild. That was just wild.
That's not even on our topics for today.
No, it's not. But that's just wild.
We will get to our regularly scheduled programming now, but
already
I just get that said.
Yeah, I appreciate you for doing that. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the MLB because the baseball playoffs are in full swing because the wild card games were last week, and then the divisional series is going on right now, and the Tigers and the Mariners series is tied at 1. That's happening right now. Who do you think is going to take this series?
Everything in me wants to believe the Tigers can take this series. I mean, we grew up in the dominance era of the Tigers. You know, we look at them and we see them for like
What
all
they
the
used to be.
outstanding players. I can't pick the Tigers here. I believe the Mariners take this game, the series in general. It's overall the Mariners are the better team. They have the better pitching, they have better defense. I just don't see how the Tigers can actually win this. I'm happy to see them in the playoffs in general, but this is the Mariners series to win or lose.
Yeah, they're down 5-1 at the moment. So
This feels
in Detroit. They're down 5-1 in Detroit. So ironically, my two baseball teams probably aren't even going to make it past the second round. And one of them had a bye.
Mine didn't even make it to the playoffs.
I know. Someone in the house, their team is about to go to the World Series again. But yeah, next we have another game that's happening tonight. We have the Yankees Blue Jays, which series is 2-0 Toronto. They are in New York right now, and they're potentially in New York for Game 4. Who do you think is going to win this series?
So I think the Blue Jays take it. I do think the Yankees get a game against them. This is a very good Yankees team. They're not making it to this World Series again, but I think they at least take a game then lose.
I agree with that, actually. And now we're going to talk a series that absolutely pains me because
it pains a lot of people with me.
Mary and I watched this game last night, and they were up 4-0, and I said, "This is game over." And they ended up making me believe, giving me a sense of false hope that they were going to come back and win just for the Phillies to lose and go down 2-0 in Philadelphia. And then they're going to LA for game 3 and potentially game 4. Who do you think is going to take this series?
I'm sorry, Bryce, and I'm sorry to all the Phillies fans who I work with, but the Dodgers are winning this series. I don't even know if I believe the Phillies to take a game off them.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about, right? Anytime my team gets good, any one of my sports, anytime my team gets good, there's always another dynasty in place to say, up yours, you can't win anything. And this is the case with the Tigers and the Phillies now in the NFL or in the MLB. And now the final series we have, or the final game final series is Cubs. Uh,
Brewers.
yeah, Cubs Brewers. I don't know why I didn't. Oh yeah, um, yeah. The Cubs started the game with a 3-run home run yesterday, and then lost 7-3. They're down 2-0. They're heading to Chicago for Game 3 and potentially Game 4.
Uh,
What do you think is going to happen with
in
this
my
series?
opinion, the World Series champions going to come from this game. I have the Brewers taking this series. I don't see them losing again.
Mm-mm.
This is the best team in the league by far. Like there
If
is
they
nobody, in my opinion, who matches up even close to them.
if they won off of a 3 game off of if they won and they allowed a 3-run homer, they're
This team
yeah
is insane.
yeah
Milwaukee,
already.
like the city of Wisconsin, can finally be happy that one of their teams is going to do something.
Hey, wait, what are you talking about?
I mean, I'm talking within the past 3 years,
Oh yeah, because it was 4 years ago for the Bucks, and
and
then it was 15 years ago for the Packers. Yeah.
don't even remind me.
Hey, it's been longer for the Colts. So
15 years.
alrighty, now let's go on to some NFL trades because there were 2 trades that happened today involving teams that were injured.
I'm still here.
So the first one is the Chargers traded safety Alohi Gilman and a 5th-round pick to the Ravens for edge rusher Odafe Owe and a future 7th-round pick. What does this trade do for both the Chargers and the Ravens?
I think the Ravens kind of had Odafe not really doing much. He didn't play much for them. He just really, really cracked their rotation. And we all saw how terrible their secondary was. So I think this is a win-win for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you're the Chargers, you need to address your offensive line first. But getting a good and still decently young player in Odafe for a fifth and a safety you really didn't use much, I think it's a great trade. I think both
Yeah,
teams benefit a little bit from this. I don't think Gilman is much of like a game changer, but he's going to be
yeah,
someone who will play a great depth role for them because their safeties have been decimated. Every one of their teams has been
yeah,
decimated by injury. So I
yeah.
like this
And
trade for both, 100%.
it's a win-win for both for sure. It addresses an area of need for both of them, especially right now for the Chargers with no Khalil Mack. And then obviously the Ravens secondary is absolutely atrocious right now, even without the injuries. So this trade helps both teams. So next we have another trade involving teams in the AFC North. We have the Browns trading Joe Flacco and a 2026 6th-round pick to the Bengals in exchange for a 2026 5th-round pick. What does this do for the Bengals?
Nothing at all.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco, and I made a TikTok about this on our TikTok account earlier, so definitely go check that out. But Joe Flacco has 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions this year. He
yeah,
has been he's showing he's a 40-year-old quarterback. He's obviously not very good. And the fact that like the Browns stayed in the games like they did were not because of him. It was because of their defense.
yeah,
So the Browns fleeced. I mean, you getting a 5th-round pick out of a 40-something-year-old quarterback. We've seen a lot of 5th-round picks become genuine talents, fifth, sixth, 7th rounders. So I think this is a
yeah.
no-brainer. The Bengals might end up regretting this. The fact that they could have traded for Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, almost like Russell Westbrook, or even Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, there are so many players that they could have made a move for, but the fact that they decided to go for Joe Flacco absolutely blows my mind.
I think if I'm the Bengals, I would much rather take what you have with Jake Browning
I don't know about that.
than Joe Flacco any day of the week. I would much rather have Brett Rippon, Mike White, uh, Tyler or Sean Clifford, or Desmond Ritter I would much rather have any one of those guys right now
And
before I would
this
have Joe Flacco.
this isn't a knock at Joe Flacco. We saw 2 years ago how he came out of nowhere and played amazing and led the Browns to the playoffs. Actually played pretty well for your Colts last year, statistically. It's just he's a 40-year-old quarterback who has no mobility behind an offensive line that's Swiss cheese.
Oh yeah, and if he was running for his life in Cleveland, what's he going to do in Cincinnati?
I will
He's going to get
say
sacked before the ball gets to his hands.
it does scare me that the only quarterback who's beat the Packers this year was Joe Flacco, and now he's their next opponent. So makes me nervous. But no, I think this was so dumb. Cincinnati could have traded for literally any
Yeah,
other quarterback.
yeah,
Anybody. There's also so many decent quarterbacks in free agency. Like there's anybody you could have taken. And I get
yeah,
it. Jake Browning is not the guy. 6 interceptions in 2 games. Trust me, I get that. Atrocious. Like absolutely terrible.
yeah. But
But
there have to be other options
I
available.
really I believe I have no clue why Jameis Winston is still on the Giants.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. I have no idea why he's still there. I have no idea why Kirk Cousins is still in Atlanta.
Now that I think about it though, Kirk Cousins might because of his contract. It might be hard to
Yeah,
make a move for him. But like you said,
yeah.
Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, there's also once again, we still have a guy like Joe Milton. There's a guy like Mac
Even
Jones.
yeah, yeah.
Mac Jones
There's
has been balling out.
yeah. You eliminate the QB controversy in San Francisco by trading him away, and then you just run with Brock Purdy.
And they would have gotten a genuine haul. They would have got more than
Yeah,
just a like they would have gotten more than they got. And like
they just got a sixth and Joe Flacco. That's all the Bengals got in this deal.
it's absolutely astonishing to me.
They could have. There were two other quarterbacks in this division on practice squads that also could have helped them that they wouldn't have had to
Yeah.
give up much.
If they made a
Tyler
move last
Huntley,
week,
Bailey's happy.
it's
Either
funny
one of those
because
two guys were also
Huntley
an
just got
option.
activated. Like if
Yeah,
they made a move last week, they could have picked up Huntley, who is a Pro Bowler. I know it's a
yeah.
bit of a fluke Pro Bowler, but he did play very well that season.
Maybe call up Kansas City and ask if Gardner Minshew's available.
Another guy, anybody, Joe Flacco is. It just makes no sense. And you have to question.
Taylor Heineke Taylor Heineke's a free agent right now.
You have to question like, is Cincinnati like accepting that their season's probably over?
That's got to be what it is. I think
Because
that's got to be
if you
what it
really want to
is.
hold out for Joe Burrow to come back, and here's my question. So let's just say the Bengals lose every game until Joe Burrow comes back. Do you even bring him back for the season?
No,
You
you
shut him.
don't. You have to shut him down. If there's nothing to play for, don't risk his health.
Yeah,
Granted, he's going to want to play,
they
but
bungled.
still,
They bungled it
they
up.
did big time. Next, we have an injury to talk about because this is a pretty big one. We have Amarion Hampton injuring his ankle. He was placed on IR, meaning Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal are going to handle most of the carries for the Chargers. What does this do for the Chargers for at least the next 4 weeks?
So I would say this is a big issue. The Chargers, one of their main calling cards is their run game. They're outstanding. That is what John Harbaugh loves to do the most. You will see them give Hassan Haskins and Vidal the blunt of it this week, but do not be surprised if you see them making a trade. I
Yeah,
also just
Jerome
because
Ford.
this thing, also just because you lost Hampton for 4 weeks, but you lost Najee Harris for the year.
Yeah,
You need a more reliable backup than Hassan Haskins. Do not be surprised if you see, a Jerome Ford, Tony Pollard, maybe even a Miles Sanders. I
yeah,
would not be surprised to see them bring somebody who has a lot more experience in
yeah.
to be the backup for Hampton when he's back and the starter while he's gone.
You know what's funny? They released or they put a running back on their practice squad named and Raheem Sanders for Cleveland, and then the first game he plays, he scores a touchdown. So
Yeah. Another I mean, this thing, and once again, another thing about the Chargers is like you have to wonder how long they can last with their O line being this decimated. Mekhi
yeah,
Becton's still not back. Joe Alt's going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Rashawn Slater's still
Rashawn
out for the
Slater's out for
year.
the entire year. Their offensive line, besides those three guys, looks disgusting.
Yeah.
It looks like they did 2 years ago. The reason they were so good for 3 straight weeks is because they had an outstanding offensive line and their defense looked elite.
Yeah.
Their run game was fantastic.
And I'm starting to see holes.
Yeah, and once again, like it's so sad for the Chargers fans because injuries consistently do this to them.
Yeah.
They are the AFC's 49ers.
And it's not Keenan Allen for once for
No,
the Chargers. It's not.
they like wholeheartedly are the 49ers of the AFC.
I can see that. Well, right now it's the Ravens, but
That's true. Oh my gosh.
but you had a hot take that you wanted
Yeah.
to
So
talk
we have
about.
got through 5 weeks, right? We're at this point, we're kind of looking at teams who are contenders and who are not. My hot take, Baker Mayfield will lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a Super Bowl win this year. I am so high on this Buccaneers team. I am calling it now. Baker Mayfield will not just win the Super Bowl, but he will win the MVP.
Oh my goodness. We are
This is
going
this
that
is
already.
an outstanding team who lost a fantastic coordinator in Liam Cohen, who has a 4-1 Jags team, has no Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's been banged up. They lost Bucky Irving. They just got Tristan Wirfs back, and they're still this good. If they can get themselves ahead of games and not have to come back and fight through it, they're winning it all.
That's
And
crazy.
another reason for Cleveland to cry.
And I don't know if that's a little bit of you Baker glazing. I don't know if that's you glazing Baker Mayfield, but I think that's wild.
I've been a fan of his for a while.
I think they're a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if it's a lock for them in this Super Bowl. I don't know if it's a lock
I'm
for them
marking
in
it
this Super
right
Bowl.
now. Today is October 7th. I'm
7th,
marking it now.
2025.
October 7th,
You
2025.
heard that, everybody.
I'm calling it. The Baker Mayfield led Buccaneers will win the Super Bowl this year.
Come back to the week 6 video and talk all kinds of trash if this doesn't happen.
Over the Drake May led Patriot. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm
Okay,
kidding.
that's a little wild.
I'm joking.
But yeah, no, that's crazy. Baker guaranteed to win the Super Bowl. That's insane. I think the Browns fans would burn all their Browns merch.
I want to see it after the Packers game. I hate the Browns now.
Okay, now we're going to talk some of the notable Week 5 games. First one we're going to talk about is Thursday Night Football last week between the 49ers and the Rams. What is your take on this game?
Amazon is finally happy with their purchase. This has been multiple weeks straight of good Thursday night games. And it's because the NFL has decided to put teams that matter on those games. But my biggest takeaway from this is proof what I've been saying, that Brock Purdy is overpaid and not necessary for that contract. Kyle Shanahan is a complete whiz when it comes to quarterbacks. You could go back there and throw for at least 2 touchdowns behind this team. They had nobody besides Christian McCaffrey. Everyone sat there, including myself, and said they were done. The Rams were going to take this game. And Mac Jones balled out. And also, Mac Jones was the guy Shanahan wanted before. He wanted him way over Trey Lance, and he was forced into taking Trey Lance. Imagine what would happen if Shanahan had Mac Jones years ago.
We wouldn't have got Brock Purdy to the
No,
49ers. Maybe they have a Super Bowl. Who knows?
I don't know.
That's wild. But yeah, no, I agree. I think both of these teams are Super Bowl contenders still. I know you've been knocking the 49ers as
I can't.
contenders. You can't now after they beat a team that you and I have both considered a bona fide Super Bowl contender. You can't deny it anymore that they are one of the teams to beat in the NFC. And the NFC is going to be a bloodbath because you have the Rams who are Super Bowl contenders, you have the Bucks who are Super Bowl contenders, you have the Eagles who are Super Bowl contenders, you have the Rams, Seattle, so on, Green Bay still. That's 5 teams you could potentially see winning the Super Bowl or going to the Super Bowl, and you wouldn't be surprised. And they are all in the NFC.
The NFC, I believe the
5
Super
of
Bowl
them.
runs to the NFC this year.
It does. It does. It does, because you look at the AFC and how weak they are. You look at the Chiefs, they're not the team they once were. You look at the Bills. I think the Bills are maybe the only team that could give the NFC teams any challenge right now. I think the Ravens are done. The Colts are
Chargers,
good, but I
maybe.
still have to see a little more. Maybe the Chargers.
Broncos,
Denver,
maybe.
Denver, maybe. Nobody in the AFC North we
There's
believe in.
one elite team in the AFC versus five in the NFC.
Yeah, yeah, one, maybe two. One, maybe two in the
It
AFC.
really depends. The
There
Colts.
are
It all depends on the Colts play this week.
there are five legit Super Bowl contenders in the NFC, and two of them are in the same division. Maybe three. Three are in the same division right now. That's insane. Next game we're going to talk about is the Panthers versus the Dolphins.
Bryce, what do you think of this game?
I think that it's making all the Panthers haters silent because Bryce Young, that last touchdown to Mitchell Evans, my God, was I going absolutely nuts, going absolutely insane when Bryce Young throws that ball to Mitchell Evans in the end zone to put them up. And then I'm like, just hold the lead, just hold the lead. And they did. And they beat the Dolphins, a team who everybody is higher on than the Panthers. And they walked into Miami and beat the brakes off of Mike McDaniel's tenure in Miami.
Yeah, I gotta say, while Bryce Young wasn't the main focus of this game, obviously, well, Bryce, come on, Rico Dowdle having a
Rico
200
Dowdle, 206 rushing yards, 24 passing or receiving yards,
Rico Dowdle
two
clearly was the
touchdowns.
the star of the game, but we're seeing a mature Bryce Young. We're
Yep.
seeing a patient Bryce Young and the fact that he can lead your team to a game-winning drives.
Yeah.
And I once again, like week by week, this is I feel like we have to say this every time. Stop reacting to week one.
Yeah.
Stop reacting to the beginning of the season. Players are coming off of months of rust. Look at what he's done in the past 4 weeks. He looks good. Yes, he's going to have bad games. Everyone has bad games. Patrick Mahomes has thrown three interceptions in a game before. It happens. But Bryce Young is
Cooper
getting
Rush did
better
it on
and better.
Sunday.
Bryce Young is getting better and better, and they have their franchise quarterback.
They do. I
And
think it's set in
all the
stone.
media outlets are going to sit here and say, "We still need to see more. We need to see more." And honestly, I'm sorry. And if I'm a Panthers fan and if they win this week, that solidifies it for me.
Yeah. If they go into Dallas, if they go in, no, if they beat Dallas this week, he's solidified. But still, well, no, they will say that because Dallas is so far up ESPN's rear end that anytime somebody beats Dallas, it's talked about. So,
Yeah.
okay, next we're going to talk about the Cardinals Titans because there are two key moments in this game we need to talk about. And they both involve the same thing. First one we're going to talk about is the 71-yard rush where Amari DiMercado was a foot away from the end zone and he lets go of the ball. The ball goes out of the back of the end zone for a touchback, meaning the Cardinals don't score on the play. That's the first one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this first, and then we're going to talk about the thing relating to it after.
I feel bad for him, to be
I
honest.
do too.
Play Look, in the end of the day, he was excited. I'm not gonna lie, I watched that. It was literally like an inch. If he waits a millisecond, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I feel for him because you know what? He's getting bashed. He's getting trashed. Like he's not a pretty decent running back. Like he's not a
He's
player who actually does do very well when he gets playing time.
yeah.
He made a mistake. Deshaun Jackson made a mistake and still had a near Hall of Fame career. So I don't sit here and I'm not going to bash the guy. He's also not the reason they lost. I'm sorry. If you give up that many unanswered points to the Titans, let's look at your defense. Not one play doesn't shock the entirety of a team's momentum. This is a whole game, and I'm sorry, you let the Titans come back.
They did.
Let's take a look at Jonathan Gannon, who's part of the problem in this.
Speaking of which, Jonathan Gannon got fired $100K for his incident on Sunday to where after Amari DiMercado fumbled the ball, he comes over and essentially punches Amari DiMercado in the face. Well, not the face, but
It was in the chest, but still.
he pretty much punches Amari DiMercado in the chest after him, disciplining him, and he was fined $100,000. Is this a bigger deal than people are making it or no?
No, you cannot strike your You
You
cannot
can't.
strike your players. Did he not learn anything from Urban Meyer? I mean,
Yeah.
Urban Meyer got fired because he kicked the guy. Like
Wasn't it Brandon
he got
No,
kicked
it
Josh
was,
Lambo.
yeah, that's right. It was Josh Lambo.
And
That's
this
right.
is like, and this is another reason why the Cardinals are so bad. It starts at the top. Their leadership is immature. Their leadership, and I'm sorry, everyone wants to talk about Cliff Kingsbury. That guy held a tight ship. They
They
might
looked
have
more
fallen
stable
apart in
with Cliff
games. They
Kingsbury.
went to many playoffs with him and they held their own. They were stable because he knew the mental game. This is not the first time we've seen Jonathan Gannon do something stupid on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So I'm
He
sorry,
had numerous cases of it in Philly.
it starts from the top. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I will not be surprised if this team gives up on him. If this team turns their back and they're like, we will play every down to get him fired.
I wouldn't be surprised. And fairly, it's justified.
And you know what? I watched some of the clips. The guys on the sideline, they were checking on DeMarcado because that's their brother. That is who they care about. A
Yeah,
coach comes
and
and goes, but
bro, yeah,
it's immature and it's not okay. You can't do that.
it's not. Yeah, you can't do that. Okay. The next game we're going to talk about is a team you can't seem to pick right.
Oh God.
And that is the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles game.
I'm
So
losing my mind with this stupid team.
the the Broncos decided to get super aggressive in the last minute of the game and go for two. Instead of just kicking the extra point to send it to overtime, they go for two, convert it to put them up 18-17, and they hold on and win 18-17. What are your reactions of this game?
Actually, I think it was 21-17 because they kicked a field goal, which then
Yeah, they
where
did. That's right.
the Eagles had to. I was watching this game up near Philly with my friend of mine and my girlfriend. I'm so tired of this freaking team, man. I'm so tired of being like, oh, I don't think they're gonna win a game, and they squeak out a win, and then I have faith in them. Ah, bro, and I'm sorry, this just proves to me, yes, Philly, in my opinion, are still Super Bowl contenders, but they have a lot of work to do, and I'm sorry, they're missing Kellen Moore a ton. Like their offense looks dry.
Kellen Moore got AJ Brown the ball.
Yeah, and I think it's almost a lock of AJ Brown getting traded this season.
I I
Like
think it
he's
could
gonna
happen in the next few weeks.
I would not be surprised. And I saw a mock trade of him going to the Bills, which would be literally game changing. I mean,
It
that would
would.
make them the best team in the league by
Can you
far.
imagine the Titans make a trade to get him back?
Oh my gosh. They give up. They re-sign Traylon Burks and send him over there. No, but honestly, my takeaways from this game is that Denver's defense is for real. We saw last week how Philly played outstanding. Their offense looked just freaking phenomenal. And you know, Denver proves why you invest in your defense. Why
Yeah.
getting sacks is so freaking important. Nick Bonito is arguably one of the most important players in the league right now, and he's
They kept
playing
saying
out
it.
of his
They
mind.
kept saying it during the broadcast. They kept saying it during the broadcast. He's one of the most underrated best players defensively in the league.
Isn't he
And
leading the
you
league in
can see
sacks right
it.
now?
I'm pretty sure he's leading the league in
I
sacks.
think he
Yeah.
has 7 at this point.
I'm pretty sure he's leading the league in sacks.
I mean, he's
That's
outstanding.
just wild. Alrighty,
He's a
next
linebacker.
I know he's a linebacker leading the league in sacks. It's wild. And he's not even an edge linebacker. He's just a he's just an off-ball linebacker. That's wild. Alrighty, the next game we're going to talk about is Kansas City versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville moves to 4-1. Travis Hunter is starting to look like every bit of why they drafted him number two. This team looks really good. But do you think this game was an indictment on the Chiefs, or do you think the Jags are legit?
I think I'm gonna say a little bit of both, and I think that's a cop out. But you have to look at it in the sense of the Chiefs did play a good game. Overall, they played pretty clean. They did not. There was one fumble and a pick, but overall, this proves that the Chiefs have no run game at all. The fact that once again Patrick Mahomes leads them in rushing, gets the rushing touchdown, and then has a passing touchdown, I believe, to Travis Kelce after an illegal pick that wasn't called. But it just shows how the Chiefs are not the team they used to be, but also give some respect to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Bryce, I'm about to say something I never thought I'd say. I had nothing but respect for Trevor Lawrence after that game. I got to give him nothing but credit. He played great. He played outstanding football.
They did. They played turnover-free football. Liam Cohen is
Well, they
looking
turned the
like
ball over, but
you're
it
right,
wasn't
they did.
detrimental turnovers.
You're right. And Liam Cohen is looking like the coach who can be there. He could be their next Tom Coughlin.
He can finally
That
save
is,
the ball.
yeah, we can. And it's scary as a fan of a team who is in this division
Yeah.
that now my team is going to have to compete with this team, meaning the AFC South, the rest of the way, not counting the Titans, maybe counting the Titans, I don't know, is
Not counting.
going to be
Can't count the Titans.
it's going to be crazy because now Houston's starting to figure it out, and you have Jacksonville who is 4-1. You have the Colts who are 4-1, and then the Titans are a scrappy team as well. They are not a bad team for being 1-4. They really aren't. I'm scared as a Colts fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The
And
Jags,
this is starting to feel like Saxonville all over again.
yeah,
That's what
they
it's
have a
starting to
real
feel like.
quarterback this time. I will say Trevor Lawrence is starting to shed that potential bust moniker.
Yeah,
But since we have less than 10 minutes, we are going to dive into week 6 predictions. Bryce, tell us
already.
how we did last week.
So last week I went 9-5. Last week you went 6-8.
Oh my God.
Meaning my record for the year is 50, 27-1, and your record for the year is 37, 40-1.
I need
So
a
now
miracle.
you need an absolute miracle. I need to go 0-15 this week. That's what needs to happen. But let's just start it off with Thursday Night Football between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Who do you have
Uh,
winning this game?
so since this game's going to come out a lot earlier than it normally, this video is going to come out a lot earlier than it normally does, guys. Whoever I pick in this game, pick the other way for your parlay because it's probably going to happen. But I do have the Eagles winning this game. The Giants, they might be in MetLife, and the Eagles might have be coming off of a bad loss, but I do have the Eagles winning this game.
Yeah,
I think it's a pissed off Eagles team. They're going to play hard, and
I
especially
have the
against Travel.
yeah. I have the Eagles winning, and I have it not even being close. I have it 34-6. That's what I have it.
Jackson Dart's welcome to the NFL moment probably comes this week against probably Jalen Carter.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen. Although but he had a few of those last week. He had a few of those last week. Next, we have the London game between the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. Who do you have winning?
I have to go with the Broncos for this. Their defense is elite. They're outstanding, and the Jets just look abysmal this year. I feel bad for Justin Fields because he's playing
He's
great,
playing amazing.
but the Jets are just atrocious. Their defense, I don't know what happened to them. The Broncos take this pretty heavily.
Yeah, I have the Broncos beating the Jets 31-24. I do think it's going to be close, but I don't think that the Jets get a win yet this year. Next, we have the Rams versus the Ravens. Who do you have winning?
I'm going to take the Rams in this one. I think the Rams need this win a lot more than the Ravens do. The Ravens at this point, their season looks like it could be over. So I think the Rams are fighting for a lot more here, and also they're the better team. I don't really trust Cooper Rush. This is not the miracle run he had in Dallas anymore. He's
No.
playing some pretty bad football.
Yeah, he had 3 picks on Sunday. But yeah, no, I have the Rams too, and I have them winning pretty soundly. I have it by the score of 29-6. I do think that this game is going to get ugly really fast, and I don't think the Ravens right now can keep up. So next we have Seattle and Jacksonville.
This is a tough, in my opinion, this could be game of the week, but I do also have Jacksonville winning this. I like what I see out of Sam Darnold right now. I think he's playing fantastic, and I almost feel bad for him because he's playing great football on a losing team. So, but I think Liam Cohen is going to outcoach here, and I really got to give this to the Jags.
Yeah, I I have the Jags, or I have Seattle. No, I have Seattle winning 26-19.
Our first disagreement. I
I
think you just hope Seattle
think
wins.
yeah, I hope Seattle wins because obviously with the Colts, but I do think that it's not a knock on Jacksonville. I just think the Seattle team is incredible. I think Sam Darnold is playing out of his damn mind right now.
Yes.
Sam Darnold looks like he can beat any team on the planet right now with the Seahawks.
Except for the
But
Buccaneers.
no, yeah, except for the Buccaneers. But I have Seattle winning 26-19.
All right.
Next, we have the
Agreement.
Cowboys versus the Panthers. I feel
I
like we're going to have
am
another disagreement
I
here.
am picking the Cowboys here. I just think the Cowboys are the better team. I think we're gonna have a great showing from Bryce Young and the Panthers. I just think the Cowboys are overall better.
I have the Panthers winning 31 to
I
30.
saw that.
I have the Panthers winning 31 to 30. Next, we have the Browns versus the Steelers in
Right.
Pittsburgh.
Who do you have winning this game?
I have Pittsburgh winning 24-21. I do think it's going to be close, but I do think in the end, Pittsburgh prevails and comes out on top.
I have Cleveland. I think Cleveland comes away with the upset. They almost took down Minnesota last week. I think a second full week of Dylan Gabriel. I think a another really good game from Quinshon Judkins and a great defensive line. I think the Browns take this game.
I agree. I could see that, but I do think Pittsburgh right now is the better team, and I do think they're going to win. But now we have New England versus New Orleans.
I think this almost feels like a trap game, but I'm
It
gonna
really
fall for
does.
it. I'm gonna take New England here after their great win over Buffalo, but I wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans actually squeaks one out here.
I have New Orleans winning 23 to 20. That's what I have them. I have New Orleans winning this game, and I think the Patriots are good, but I do think this Saints team is scrappy.
They are very
They're
bad.
scrappy. And I think we need to start putting some respect on Spencer Rattler's name. Spencer Rattler is looking like a guy who can be a starter in the NFL and looking like a guy who can last as the Saints starting
Yeah.
quarterback.
Surprised the Bengals didn't make any call about him.
I know. Or Jake Hayner. That's another one. Next we have the Chargers versus the Dolphins.
I think the Chargers get a much needed bounce back win here against, in my opinion, the worst team in the league. Oh, I still think they're worse than the Jets. I think they're atrocious. Chargers get a pretty solid bounce back win.
Yeah. I think the Chargers win 27-10 regardless of their injuries. Miami's not good at all.
No.
They're not. Next, we have the Colts versus or the Cardinals versus the Colts. Who
Give
do
me
you
Indy.
have? Yeah, I have them winning
Pretty simple.
34-17.
Indy.
I think they're a lot better. They're a lot better of a team. They didn't lose to the Titans this year. That's all I'll say. Next, speaking of the Titans, we have Tennessee versus Las Vegas. Who
I'm
do
gonna go
you have winning?
Tennessee. I think Tennessee takes this game. I also don't know how long Geno Smith lasts as a starter after a potential another bad showing. It's a really good defense here.
I have the Raiders winning 19-12.
Another low scoring affair.
Yeah. Next, we have what you said is the game of the week. Tampa Bay, San Francisco versus Tampa Bay. Who do you have
Um,
winning?
in this shootout, I have Tampa Bay winning. I think
I
they're the
have
better
Tampa
team.
Bay. I have Tampa Bay winning 27-24. So I do think that this is going to be a really one of the games we talk about for a long time.
Oh, we're gonna spend
Next,
time on this.
we have Cincinnati versus Green Bay.
Don't hurt me again, Green Bay. I'm taking the Packers. I'm picking them, but if you lose to Joe Flacco twice in one season, I might have to start buying some Chargers gear.
I have the Packers winning 31-10. Here's my thing though. Cleveland has a good defense. Cincinnati is just an overall dumpster fire.
Their
That's the
defense is
thing.
atrocious.
Alrighty, now we have Sunday Night Football. Again, they're playing a primetime game for some reason I don't get. But we have the Lions versus the Chiefs. Who do you have winning?
The Lions are gonna demolish this Chiefs
Yeah,
team.
yeah. I have the Lions winning 29-14.
Pretty ugly game.
Yeah. Next, we have another game which might get pretty ugly too. We have Buffalo versus Atlanta.
I have Buffalo winning. They need a bounce back win after last
I
week.
have Buffalo winning 27-13. And now we have the final game of the week. We have Chicago versus Washington. Battle of the number one and number two overall picks from last year. Their second matchup in the NFL already.
This is a hard one to pick, but I do give this to the Commanders. I think the Commanders are better, but the Bears are a decent team right now.
Yeah, they are. Caleb Williams is playing really well. He really is. He's looking like their answer at quarterback, even though the Bears are just an absolute dumpster fire. But I do have the Commanders winning 21-20,
All right, Bryce,
meaning Jaden Daniels goes 2-0 against Caleb Williams in his
let's
career.
go. All right, Bryce, this is going to cut us off in about 15 seconds. So we will see you guys in the next one. Comment down below what you think of our picks and let us know your picks. Peace.
Peace.